Yo, 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 yo. What's good? What's good? What's good? This is just a test. I know it's late, and it was be the usual. This ain't the usual time that I would stream, but I feel like I should talk about this, and I want different perspectives of this as well, just so everybody else can join in. And this is the spiritual warfare topic, so I definitely want everybody who has an opinion on it can gladly come in, say how they feel, and then they can hop off. So mm, what's this? Oh no, I'm gonna change that up real quick. I want to see who's in the comments real quick. Nobody here yet. All right, that's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna just get directly into it. Hey, like everybody knows about spiritual warfare. Some don't know in depth of what it is. Some do. Pretty much goes like this. All right, like spiritual warfare is basically when your mind, body, or emotions are attacked by a negative influence. Okay, and basically this negative influence is usually demonic. It's a malevolent entity that wants people, that wants you to either be off your game, or you know it's either be off your game, or they want you to go down a path that you have no business going down. And basically we're going to get directly into it, and I want a lot of people to hop on to see how they feel about it. Also, let me remove this display thing here, because this don't need to be here. Hold on one second, guys. Let me remove that. Let me remove it. Okay, there we go. Okay, boom. All right, that's out the way. All right. Now, if anybody wants to come and hop on, they're more than welcome. The link will literally be in the chat right here. You can see it. I want different perspectives on this, so anybody can, say how they feel, say their piece, or anything like that. And I definitely want to see how you guys will identify spiritual warfare, especially some of you black pillars too, because I want your input on it as well. Also, what I would definitely want to talk about is a very serious topic, is why masculinity is being targeted nowadays. And the reason why that's being targeted is because it's simple. Masculinity is being targeted is because the enemy knows that that's where God resides. If you watch one of my videos where I say why masculinity is important, I basically tell you where that masculinity is the energy where God resides. That's the energy where God is at his most purest form. Excuse me. That's the energy that God is, that God is able to manifest himself through that man. You feel what I'm saying? This is why he created masculine energy, so he can manifest himself through us men. Okay. And basically, the reason why Satan doesn't want that is because masculinity cannot be manipulated. If you're a constant in your emotions, if you're displaying feminine energy, guess what? You can be manipulated. And guess what? That once you manipulated that mindset, just then you get hit with demonic occupation. Demons enter the mind, they enter the body, and then they enter the soul. And guess what? You're starting to do things that you have no business. You're going down a path where you have no business. And then after that, you lose yourself. And then that's when you start you start doing things you have no business. I'm trying to keep this clean for YouTube, but that you have no business. You feel what I'm saying? Where you have no business. So, so I'm just also talking about a different topic too as well. But for those of you that don't know or who haven't been paying attention, the male suicide rate is over 75%. Okay. And the reason why this is so high is because one, this was coordinated. This was not coordinated by any particular movement. This wasn't coordinated by female nature, none of that. That has nothing to do with it. Reason why it was coordinated is because Satan wants to try to eliminate masculine men because he's basically trying to have the world turn away from God, as if you guys didn't know or are unaware of. All right. Ooh, excuse me. And basically what he's trying to do, he wants, that's what he wants, men to become very feminine, or they become so feminine to the point where they become homosexual. Why do you think there's a lot of these movements pushing for homosexuality? Why do you think you got these giant transgender organizations now, and how if you say anything regarding that, you're being transphobic or it's offensive? If you say anything regarding homosexuality or transgender, it's being rude, being offensive, or just outright transphobic or some such like that. Just because if you don't agree with that, they're basically, the enemy is trying to force it down young men's throats so that way he can make them part of the cause. There's a scripture that says, we battle not against flesh and blood, but of principalities and wickedness in high places. So yeah, I ain't gonna sit there and preach to y'all. You guys can literally see it for yourself. You feel what I'm saying? And in the Bible it says, and also I'm gonna talk about another topic too, why submission is important and why that's being looked down upon. Traditionalism is being looked down upon by a lot of organizations, by a lot of people, and more importantly, by a lot of women. And the reason why it's looked down upon is because, well, Satan doesn't want submission. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want a woman to submit to her husband who has Christ at the top of his head and who Christ has God at the top of his. The reason why he doesn't want that is because he knows if a woman is submitting to a man who serves God, then guess what? She is also submitting to Christ. And then guess what? She can't be manipulated because her emotions are being directed and led by the man who's being led by God. So therefore, the Satan who is of the world cannot conquer her. That's why submission is looked down upon so badly. That's why masculinity is looked down upon as being pushed back against so hard, because that's not what he wants. You ever notice how, and I'm gonna talk about this too. You ever notice how if a woman is very, very masculine, she looks a lot older than what she is? She's always in a bad mood. She's always, you know, she's always, she's never happy. And the reason why is because women cannot take on masculine energy within themselves. They can't do it. It's not meant for them, because masculine energy forces it. Basically, for man, it makes us think more logically. It makes us become more pragmatic. It makes us become more, it makes us pull out the solution for a problem. If a woman decides to do this, it basically makes her mind split and go into a conflict. Females think emotionally, and masculine energy comes in and forces them to think logically. So these two opposing entities within the woman will make her mind go against itself. So at the time she'll seem like she's more irrational or more emotional, or sounds more insane. You feel what I'm saying? Now I'm not saying, oh, women are crazy and all that. No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is they cannot take on masculine energy. It takes a toll on them. This is a very heavy energy, and it makes their body age. It really does. When a woman has nothing but feminine energy with inside of herself, she looks vibrant, she's happier, she's younger, she's more, she looks like she's glowing. You feel what I'm saying? When she takes on masculine energy, she's always in a bad mood. She always looks very serious, and so on and so forth. And the reason why, Excuse me. I am pretty tired. It's like 1 in the morning here. And the reason why masculinity is God's energy is because it's the energy that God had given men to create life. It's what we use to impregnate women to create life. It's what we use for, for the spiritual connection of God to be established. It gets placed in the mind, which leads to the heart, which houses the soul, and it caters to the spirit. This energy allows God to come in, and he's being seen through us. This is why Satan wants us to be. This is why Satan wants us to be conquered by our emotions. He wants us to be conquered by our desires. If you learn to master yourself, if you master self, God will be seen through you much more clearly because the connection is pretty much unbreakable. You feel what I'm saying? It's pretty much unbreakable. This is why gaining knowledge is important. This is why, if as a man, you should be able to have a hobby that requires discipline. One defining trait that defines a lot of men that a lot of men today don't seem to have is lack of discipline. You need to have discipline. What that means is that means ain't no dirty Dick Rodneys where you going around the sleeping with every woman you come across, or you become reactive to whatever someone says to you, or to whatever situation is thrown your way. You don't react to it, you respond to it. You feel what I'm saying? You respond to that. Also, welcome. I see you. Hold on a second. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? The 7th. Okay. You know what? I do apologize for that. I do. That's why I had to start a new stream, because when I uploaded that one originally, it wasn't it didn't show anything. So I had to delete that and upload it. Don't even mind that video. I'm gonna delete it. Once it shows up, I'll delete it. But can you hear me now though? If you can hear me now, just drop a 1. If not, drop a 2. Okay, hold up. Post that. Hold on a second. Let me see. All right. Can you hear me? Let me see. And then after that, all right, perfect. Then that's when you start. Okay, perfect. I'm glad you can hear it. I just checked on my phone. Yeah. All right. So back to what I was saying. Like, I don't know if you noticed nowadays how a lot of organizations are pushing against masculinity. For example, you got the feminism, you got the Me Too movement, you got all these, I'm speaking for the Black community here now also, because I'm doing that specifically for this particular topic, and then I broadened it out. Basically, Black media, who is it ran by? Is it ran by men or women? Let me know, because I can tell you the answer right now. For a lot of Black men, and especially in the Black community, media is ran by women in the Black community. Media is ran by women in the Black community. And then, or if you go from one to broaden it, you have a lot of organizations that go against men or try to push back against masculinity. You can look this up for yourself. You have Black Lives Matter, you have feminism, you have the Me Too movement, you have the transgender movement, you have all these movements that are going up against men. They're pretty much trying to they're trying to force a new order into things. Okay. You also have a lot of new movements that are just blatantly trying to lie or confuse you, just like these whole gender fluid things that are going on right now. Like, there's these new genders that they're trying to force us to adopt to, so you can be So you can be unaware that there's only two actual genders. Yes, there's only two. There's a man and there's a woman. One gives life, one incubates it and pushes it out. Okay, that's it. That's it. That's pretty much what it is. Also, I do have to apologize. Not really used to speaking this long or this much, but what it is, a lot of dudes don't seem to understand is a lot of dudes don't seem to understand is that by you trying to pay attention to these doctrines that's of the world, you're pretty much getting led astray. Even God says this in the Bible. What destroys my people is lack of knowledge. The more you know, the better you understand. The better you understand, you have solutions for it. Okay. Like, for example, let me use the black pill, for example, right? They try to blame, the world for their problems, or more specifically women and such. They try to blame women, they try to blame the world, they try to blame all that on the world. But they don't realize is the lack of knowledge and understanding will bring forth a lack of solutions. Excuse me. You feel what I'm saying? So I want you guys to understand that if you gain more knowledge, you gain more understanding. You gain more understanding, you gain more solutions. And therefore, we as men, we have a superpower that God gave us specifically, and that's the power to literally create from anything. You could turn a stone into a skyscraper. You could turn a molehill literally into a mansion. You can turn water to electricity. You can turn freaking rocks into fucking fire. You feel what I'm saying? All these things that you can do, God gave us the ability to. That's why God gave men this power. That's why he gave us masculine energy to get this done. How do you think we got cities that came from deserts? How do you think we got bricks from raw materials? How do you think we got, how do you think we got pavement? How do you think we got all these things, these inventions, these, how do you think we got technology? You feel what I'm saying? Now I'm not saying I'm not saying, oh, women can't do any of these things. There are a lot of great female inventors out there, but the majority of things that have been invented were created by men. And a majority of the great accomplishments that we have, men have achieved. Okay. And this is the ability that God gave us. He gave us the ability to discern, to determine, and to overcome and accomplish. We have these things from birth. And a lot of dudes don't seem to understand the power that they have. They throw the power away when they give up. That's the male version of hitting a wall. Yes, giving up. That is the male version of that. Hold on, let me check these comments real quick. And once you give up, guess what? The power that you have, you relinquish it. You feel what I'm saying? And I want you guys to really understand that this isn't a joke. You feel like I'm struggling right now, bro, and need a major transformation in my life. You know what? You know what, bro? I completely understand because I can relate. Because you want to know why I was struggling too at one point. I'm gonna bring up a personal situation. Like when my grandmother had passed away, she was the one who showed me who Christ was. Her, my grandparents. When they had passed away, it hit me hard. And I lost myself. I became worldly. I started, becoming lustful. I didn't do the whole no fap and semen retention. I started looking at women as sexual objects. I wasn't praying. I was more depressed. Like I didn't have depression. I just was having a low mind state. I had a very hellish mindset, and I didn't like that. So you know what I did? I stopped doing what I was doing. I needed a reality check. You feel me? I was like, I can't live like this my whole life. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make something better of myself. So at first I had the solution mindset. I was like, you know what? Let me start praying again. Let me start getting back into my artwork so that way I can regain discipline. Let me apply to college and see how that works out. You feel me? Let me just sit here and get myself back together, because if I don't, I'm going to destroy myself, and this toxicity can spread. And I'm not trying to be like that. So, bro, I completely understand. I really do completely understand on how you feel. I completely understand and I can relate because I was there at one point. You know, every man goes through a dark period in their life where they feel like either they're not good enough, they're not worthy enough, or they feel powerless. No man wants to feel that. But that's when this is why praying and meditation is so important, because if you feel powerless, that's the enemy trying to take over. And the reason why the enemy's going so hard is because they know the power you possess through God, and they know what you can become. See, God gave every man on this world a gift, and this gift is exclusive to that one particular man. No man shares the same gift, okay? The reason why is because God wanted to make every last one of us unique, and we have our own special element that we can add to the world to make it a better place and lead the next generation of men to become great spiritual warriors and great leaders. Because I'm going to tell you this right now, women need us. Straight up, females need great men to lead them back to Christ. Yes, they could say, oh yeah, we could go back to Christ on our own, but because they're ruled by their emotions, they get sucked back into the ways of the world constantly. That's why they need men. They need men to lead them. That's why we have to master ourselves, because if we master ourselves and God is seen within us, guess what? Women will submit again, and they will be brought back to Christ through our leadership, not control, leadership. There's a big difference. You feel what I'm saying? Yes, some women won't. That's fine. But the women who will, you'll notice them because they'll become a whole lot happier. They'll become a whole lot, more feminine. And guess what? They will cater to the men that lead them. You feel what I'm saying? Yes, I know some dudes in the red pill space. They'll be like, oh, I can't do that. All women are gonna get is my dick. They don't need to have my leadership. Listen, all that rage is the acceptance, but it's only temporary. Okay. What a lot of dudes need to understand is you got to master yourself. Because if you can't master yourself, how do you expect a woman to submit to chaos? Would you run out? Would you run out in the middle of a tornado? Hell no. I sure as hell wouldn't. That's pretty much what you expect of a woman when you don't master yourself, when you don't master your emotions or any of those things. Okay? That's what you expect of a woman. That's what you're asking a woman to do. That's what you're telling her to do, and she's not going to do that. Because why would she submit to emotions? She already has those. Somebody has to be masculine somewhere. You, as the man, you are the conductor of the train that is your life. God provided the tracks for the train to go on, and he gave us the tools to build the train. All we have to do is build it. That's why we self-improve. When you self-improve, when you improve the mind, guess what? That's the engine of the train. You self-improve the body, that is the wheels of the train. You self-improve the spirit, that is the coal that goes into the engine that powers the train, and it goes forward. And once you master all these things, your train is going. A woman is supposed to go on the platform, earn the ticket so she can enter the luxury car of that train. So that way she's not in the freaking conductor seat. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of dudes don't seem to understand this. They don't. And it's not just women, it's beyond women. You feel me? It's beyond. It's beyond it. You have to learn to master yourself for yourself. Master yourself for yourself, because if you do, trust me, if you do, you will become the best version of yourself. Like, for example, Solo TV84 made a stream earlier where he showed a video of Vegeta explaining why him trying to become better than Kakarot, he wasn't going anywhere. And when he stopped chasing Kakarot and he stepped out of his own way, he was able to achieve Super Saiyan. And guess what? I'm going to use another anime analogy here. If anybody knows the show Inuyasha, you know the show, Sesshomaru wanted the Tetsaiga that that his father had passed down to his younger brother Inuyasha. Sesshomaru coveted the Tetsaiga for most of the series. That is until he learned one compassion, and he learned to step out of his own way. He realized that he was much stronger even without it. Okay? And guess what? He got his own sword that was able to devour and become much more powerful than his father ever could. When he stepped out of his own way and he mastered himself, he became truly an unstoppable force. And this is what a lot of men don't seem to understand. Also, I'm going to read your comment in a second. Hold on. People don't really know or understand or believe at the fact of the dimensions in our world. You know what? You're right. There's two dimensions. There's the spirit. No, there's three. There's this physical realm, there's the mental realm, and then there's the spiritual realm. The spiritual realm, can any spiritual entity can pass through all three of these, but they need permission to enter the mental realm of one's life. You feel what I'm saying? It's very important. That's why you have to watch what you say, because if you don't watch what you say, you can allow demons to enter yourself. Hold on a second. Yeah, you're right. A lot of truth is coming out and there's a lot of confusion. But back to what I was saying, that's what you have to watch. What you say, you have to watch your actions, because if you become negative, negative will be attracted to you. It's like a beacon for demons to come into your life and breed more demons. Because once one gets in, a whole legion gets in. You become a little breeding ground vessel for demonic energy. And you don't want that. So that's why you need to have the spiritual fortress in your mental realm. Stay prayed up, stay disciplined, master your emotions, and freaking remember, keep God at the root of it. Because if you keep God at the root of your spiritual fortress, you have the spiritual barracks, you have your spiritual protectors. Yes, God will allow angelic entities to enter you and around you to protect you from demonic invasion. That's why you have to be careful of who you let into your life, let into your home, and more importantly, let into your bed, because you can be taking demons onto yourself with the people that you have sex with. Yes, sexual curses are a thing. I'm not talking about STDs. I'm talking about the binding of demons to oneself through sexual intercourse. And a lot of people don't seem to understand that. You feel what I'm saying? It is very dangerous. And as you said before, yes, a lot of truth is coming out. So there's confusion. Of course, there is confusion. The reason why there's so much confusion is because a lot of people don't gather knowledge. Even God said it himself. What destroys my people today is lack of knowledge. If you, again, this goes back to my original comment. This goes back to my original point. If you gain more knowledge, you gain more understanding. You gain more understanding, you gain more solutions. This is this is the simple, this is so simple yet so complicated at the same time. You feel what I'm saying? So I really want you guys to understand this. Like, it is extremely important to gain knowledge. You need it. It also gaining knowledge helps build your spiritual arsenal. Because once you have a spiritual arsenal, guess what? The bigger your spiritual arsenal, the better you can discern. And the better you can discern, the more you can prepare for incoming warfare or to outright avoid it. So that way nothing can come to you. Because if you do that, if you stay prayed up and your spiritual arsenal is heavy and your spiritual arsenal is well manifested, guess what? Enemies' attacks won't even come near your fortress. It'll go to somebody else who doesn't have a fortress. You feel me? And I definitely wanted you guys to understand that. And another thing too, regarding back to my train analogy, once you once you become part of God, he will elevate that train to ascend to a higher being of existence, meaning you won't look at the world the same. Once you look at the world now, you'll see it through the lens of discernment. Only God can give you that. And you'll gain wisdom from God and God alone. There's a big difference between experience and wisdom. Hey, what's going on? What's going on, Peanut Butter Goblin? What's good, bro? What's good? Like, there's a big difference. You'll gain experience. You'll gain experience, but more importantly, you'll gain wisdom. Wisdom cannot be gained from humans. It can only be given to you. That's why, for example, you could be sitting up 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and you just have these boom, you just have these ideas that hit you in your head. And all of a sudden you have such a vast knowledge of one particular idea. That's not experience. That's wisdom. You feel what I'm saying? That is God giving you wisdom so you can share it with someone else. That's what God wants to do. That's what he did with Solomon. That's what he did with King Solomon. And that's how Solomon was able to not only summon, but conquer demons to build his temple for him. And it was only through God that he was able allowed to do this. When God came to him, Solomon, all he asked for was wisdom, because wisdom is the gateway to everything else. Yeah, people can have money. Yeah, people can have fame and fortune. But if you have wisdom, that's something that only God can give, and it can't be taken away from you. You feel what I'm saying? It cannot be taken away from you. So I really want to bring it. Really want to bring that out as well. Also, something you need to do is remember when I said when I mentioned discipline. Yeah, get hobbies that require you to become disciplined. Like, for example, with me, ever since I was a kid, I've always used little pipe cleaners to make sculptures. I've always been into sculpting. I've always liked stuff like that. And for the virtual aspect of it, I love city building. These hobbies require you to have discipline in order to make something that only you can create. You feel what I'm saying? Only you can create this. And if you have discipline, whether it be from art to working out to music, anything like that, then guess what? You will apply that same discipline to other aspects of your life. So, for example, if you have goals, you begin to write them down. You begin to start carrying them out. Boom. You have something, you have a goal that you want to obtain, you start working towards it. You have a specific weight that you want to reach, you start working out towards it. You have a specific end result that you want to achieve, whether it be getting a new house, getting a new car, getting a new phone, get anything like that. You can get it done if all you have to do is put in the work. This is what discipline does. Basically, discipline is the refinement of the man. It basically turns that man from a bunch of raw materials into a refined and polished version of himself. Also, if you guys do not know, for those of you who knows me outside of YouTube, you all know that I collect swords. I'm a weapons collector. This is something that I do. So as far as that, I basically used to watch these videos for hours, and I would see that they would take raw materials, they will put them into the fire, hammer it, hammer out the impurities, and polish it, shape it. And guess what? You have these beautiful looking weapons. That's what God does with men. He takes us raw materials because he sees the potential, puts us in the fire. That is the hardships that we have in our lives, and that is the hard experiences. And he hammers out the impurities. He's literally hammering out all the impurities, whether it be negative energy, negative people, negative surroundings, negative aspects of our lives. And he applies wisdom, and he gives us the choice to use discipline. This is the refinement process. So you can become from a fat slob to a fit Chad, or you can be from broke to a millionaire, or you can be, from living in your mom's house to owning your own house. You feel what I'm saying? These are things that you can literally do when you add discipline to your life. Does it come easy? No, nothing is easy. And you know what? Be grateful for that, because if it was easy, everyone can do it. The reason why God wants us to go down this difficult path is because you lead by example. God is a God of example. He's not a one of talking. That's what he has us as men do. We have to lead by example, not through words, but through action. That's why the expression is, I'm a man of my word, or I'm a man of action. And the reason why is because if we begin to show action it not only shows that we're willing to do it, but it also shows that God is living through us. You feel what I'm saying? So, for example, I have a friend who makes music. Shout out to him. Shout out to Gritty. He's actually in the chat under Peanut Butter Goblin. He makes music, and he's been making music since we were in middle school. Okay. At first, it was raw and uncut, but now it's refined, it's polished, it's legit, and it's really good music. You guys go subscribe to his channel, go check him out. Look up Gritty World. Go check out his channel. Okay. He also does motivational videos. But what I say that to say is it goes from raw and uncut to refined. For example, when I started making my little artwork and started making my sculptures, they were shitty because I first started out, and it wasn't until I started practicing, implementing different ideas and implementing different strategies. That's the best part about when you creating something yourself. You implement different strategies to make something great. Only you can do it. You can use inspirations from other different mediums into your life to make it even better than what it is now. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what, man? I definitely appreciate it for you hopping on. This stream's about to end soon anyway, but I definitely want to make this because it's 2 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, as I was saying, you can implement different things into your life. Like, for example, if you wanted to lose weight and you wanted to sit there and get your money up, you wanted to lose weight and get money up, you can implement different things from doing your research and gathering knowledge to make it to where you have a much better success rate. You're not relying on someone else. You're doing it yourself. And this is the best part about doing it yourself. It's a 100 chance success rate. The only time the success rate drops to zero is if you completely quit and stop doing it. So I really hope this stream was to motivate you guys. And for the people that came on, that hopped in the comments, many blessings. And people that see the replay, blessings to you as well. And I'll see you guys in the next one.